Today we have members of the National Association of Anambra State Female Students right here. We decided to bring them on air because they are here to tell us, enlighten us on how they want to give back to the society that made them. And David, you want me to do the honor?
Yes, and like you said, they're having a statewide mentorship and health outreach, but they will now be unpacking their loads for us right here on the show. And we have with us Onyechi Oji, the president of the association, that is the National Association of Anambra Female Students. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
Good morning, sir.
And we also have Anastasia Omodinjo. She's the Secretary General of the association. You're welcome to Weekend Show.
Thank you, ma.
All right. You know, this is sorry, David. I'm sorry. I'm not a feminist, but I want to find out something. You know, when I hear about association of what's it called? Association of students, nuns, the rest of them, you hardly get to see the gender-based association. Yeah. But you know, in careers we have them: female lawyers, female journalists, and all that. So I want to know, your association, is it well known? Like, I'm not talking about everybody, I'm talking about like Anambra students, Anambra female students. Are they aware that there's an association like this? Do you have that membership? And what's the coverage of your membership? Is it just like students in Anambra State universities? Or is it like indigenous of Anambra State that are students in all universities? What's your coverage? And then what's the awareness level like?
Okay, we are still a new association.
Oh, okay.
We are not very old.
Okay.
We started our activities last year.
Oh, it's still very new.
Yes, it's still very new. As for membership, the association is for all Anambra female students. Indigenous,
okay,
people of Anambra descent or origin, no matter where you are in the world or in Nigeria, you understand? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so what was, since you said it's 1 year, I think it is still time to ask, what was the inspiration behind the founding of the association? Why did you guys decide, yes, it is time for us to have an association exclusively meant for Anambra female students? Because I know there is an association for Anambra students in general. So what inspired the formation of this National Association of Anambra Female Students?
Thank you. The thing is, when you have a general association, you basically see that the male folks will actually, you know, take over it. And when this happens, it's so general, their goals are not actually streamlined. So you see that things pertaining the girl child and the female folks are not really given enough attention as required. And then secondly, when you look at the state in general and the way the country is currently, you see that a lot of youths are actually derailing, not just on morals, but on a lot of other things. So with this association, we are aiming to reach out to young girls, to empower them, you know, to train them, to let them know that there is more to life in the future, to prepare them for excellence in the future. So basically, that's why the organization came about, to protect the rights, interest, and the welfare of the Anambra girl child.
Okay, so I'd like to talk to you, Anastasia. So far, it's been 1 year. How has the journey been? Have you been able to achieve the set out goal like the president spoke about?
Okay, I would say that at first it was challenging getting across the students in the various universities in Nigeria, but then we were able to reach out to some of these students, and then now we are not yet there, but we've gotten to a place where we have students, we have representatives in the various universities.
So tell us about this. Sorry. Go on. Tell us about this outreach.
Okay, the outreach. This outreach is to promote the girl child health. is a mentorship outreach and health outreach. So it's just a way of giving back to the society who go to secondary school, which is get to these female girls in secondary school, promote their health, tell them things they need to know about their menstrual health, and then at the same time give them paths. So
okay, before we move deeply into this association, she talked about the fact that these associations have actually been able to have some representatives in some schools. Can you tell us how many schools you have representatives in at the moment, or schools where you have formations already?
Okay, we don't have like local organizations in all schools, but
Okay.
yes, we do have representatives.
Okay.
So like in UNIZIP, of course, we have, in COOU we have, in UNN we have, IMT we have, ASUT we have, in Federal Polytechnic Nekede we have in IMS too. We also have in Uniport. We have some people in Kaduna too. We have even in the far north, like some members from Maiduguri, Borno State University. So we don't have local organizations like this is not in this school yet, but we will get there.
All right. Let's now get into, she was talking about the program, the statewide mentorship and health outreach. Tell us the components. What are we expecting to see in this? Because it says statewide. How statewide will it be?
Okay, we are covering all the 21 local government areas in Anambra State.
Okay.
So we are going to one school per local government. That is what it's going to be. And as for the program, what you're expecting to see is we talking about the development of the girl child. We're telling the girl child how to build their self-esteem. We're talking about reproductive health and then menstrual health and how the girl child should carry herself during the menstruation.
So, Secretary, why this? Why is this important? Yes, there are several groups who go to schools, secondary schools, to talk to the girl children about girl child education, about their mental health. But why is NAF considering this very important to talk about, to continue to reinforce, and also even to give them gifts for?
okay, the thing is that I would use myself as an example. While I was growing up and while I was in secondary school, there is this shame that I feel that is attached to menstruation. Nobody wants to talk about it. We are shying. We don't even want to discuss anything about menstrual hygiene, and then that is why there is a bridge in knowledge about this menstrual hygiene. So we as an association believe that reaching out to these girls to talk about their menstrual hygiene, how they should cope, what they should do and what they should not do, what they should know, will go a long way to help them develop this positive approach to their menstrual hygiene.
You know, I'd like to know when you talk about membership and you spoke about having your representatives all over. You mentioned universities. You have your representative UNIZIC, IMSU, and even in the far north. Now, when it comes to reaping the fruit of the association, you're going down to secondary school. I'd like to know, is it that you don't have female students who are in need of this knowledge? You don't have female students who are in need of this pads, sanitary items you're going to be sharing? Why decide to go outside? I'm talking about for a young association. Typically, I would expect that as a young association, this would be an avenue for you to attract more members to yourself by doing it with the university. But you went down to secondary school. Why not university girls? Why secondary school?
Okay, programs every association has is inspired by their aims and objectives.
Okay.
And like I stated earlier, one of our core aims is to protect the right, interest, and welfare of the Anambra girl child.
Okay.
Now, the Anambra girl child is not just restricted to our members.
Okay.
That is one. And then secondly, we have our own internal programs. When we do these internal programs, we don't need to go out, and definitely we don't need to publicize it. For example, we run a monthly Female Excellence in Leadership lecture series. We have lectures from time to time on WhatsApp, on Zoom. We talk about these things. That is one. So most of our members already know these things.
Oh, okay.
Then number two, these people are a bit grown. The people in the tertiary institutions are a bit grown. Like you said, menstruation is something, you know, as a young girl, they start teaching you from secondary school and then from the junior secondary to the senior secondary. So before you get to the tertiary level, at least you have a handful of information.
Okay.
You know how to carry yourself. Now, these people are quite younger. The people in the secondary school, they are not quite exposed. Imagine people in JS3, SS1. They are still new to this thing. You start your menstruation, average age of 12.5 years. So these are the people that actually will need this information at this formative stage to help build them to grow into it.
Now, there is something you mentioned that is very important. You talked about, what I say, beliefs, myths that come with discussing menstrual hygiene. Some parents do not even talk about it with their kids until these children begin to experience them
themselves.
What are the things, what are the core focus of your teachings, or what you want to be talking about to these children? What are the myths you tend to correct? What are the belief systems you feel? These are the specific things we want these children growing up to know and understand before they are taught the wrong things.
Okay, first and foremost, you know, there is a sort of stigma in the past that comes with menstruation.
Yeah.
You know, girls that are in their menstruation, first of all, they start feeling unclean. And, you know, in some religion, even in some churches, they say when you're on your menstruation, you don't do this, you don't cook, you don't go to church, you don't go to certain places. So these things makes these girls feel like, oh, there is something actually wrong with me. When I'm on my menses, I'm less of a human. So one of the core objectives of this program is to make sure that you tell these girls that this is a normal thing. This is the way it's supposed to be. And there is nothing dirty about you. There is nothing dirty about menstruation. It's a beautiful thing, because without menstruation, you can't even reproduce. So if a young lady is not seeing her menstruation, how do we procreate? How do we recreate? So they should see it as a very important and a very glorious aspect of the development into womanhood. So that is one. Then secondly, because of the stigma also associated with this, you tend to find girls who are in their menstruation not wanting to go out. Some of them don't even go to school during their menstruation. They'll prefer to stay at home. So we have to tell them that, okay, this is normal. Build their self-confidence first when they're on their menstruation so that they can go about their daily activities even while on their period. You understand? And thirdly, also, some of them don't even know how to carry themselves, like how to take care of themselves during this menstrual period, like how they are going to change pads. Some don't even know what pad is, like you rightly pointed out. Some parents do not even discuss this at all. They just allow you to grow into it. You just find yourself, you know, shedding blood and like, mommy, what's happening? I'm actually seeing this. So when you go, now that they are younger, you tell them, okay, this is what is going to be happening to you every month. This is why it's going to be happening. And when this thing comes, it's nothing bad, it's something good. And this is how you will handle yourself when it comes. You are supposed to use a pad. You're supposed to bathe 2 or 3 times daily. You're supposed to, you know, change the pads after some time. You're supposed to do this and that. I think that will go a long way.
So I'd like to find out, what are the challenges facing the organization, not just as a new organization, but also as a gender-based organization? What are some of the challenges you've been facing so far?
Okay, I would say that the most challenges is finance, especially for this program. So when you know that we're just a new organization and we are trying to do this, but there is no money to go about this program. So that is the major challenge.
So you now, what do you think is the major challenge of an Anambra female student? No longer the association.
Okay.
Anambra female students, what is the challenge you feel they face, and what do you think can be done to make things a bit better for them? Is there any difference between being an Anambra State female student and being an Anambra State male student? In fact, just a female student and a male student.
Okay, I think one of the basic things missing right now is mentorship.
Okay.
Mentorship. When you hear about some ladies from Anambra State, you really get proud, like the late Professor Dora Konyele and the rest. But then if you watch the tide, it seems as if this crop of leaders in their era leave, they may not be female students, females, Anambra, of Anambra origin to actually take over. So you see there is a lacuna. So we started noticing that girls are not really interested in excellence, leadership. When we talk about leadership, it mustn't be politics. Leadership in every sphere of life, leadership in the industries, in the healthcare sector, in the education sector, and the rest of them all. So it was this lacuna. There is no right mentorship. They are actually leaving some of the core aims of being a woman to, you know, chase things. Most times you just hear, I just want to graduate and get married. Don't get me wrong. Marriage is a very big achievement. Personally, I feel it's a very big achievement. But I also feel that is not just all there is to life. You know, you have a purpose, you have an aim, and then you should build yourself. You know, you don't just jump into anything. For the likes of Professor Dora Akunyili and Uche Kunife and the rest of them, all Bieze Kwesili and co, there was a process. There was a building. They didn't just jump into it. Now, if we don't start young to build young ladies, by the time these people, this set of their era, are no longer in the active, you know, leadership phase, who will be the next takeover?
All right, so tell us, when is this program starting? She mentioned that you'll be going one school per local government. When is this starting? How are you going to select the schools you go to? I've seen in your banner that this program has been approved by the state government. But how do you hope to select these schools? There are 1,001, I think over 2,000 schools in Anambra State. How are you going to make these selections? Will that be only in public schools? Are you considering mission schools and private secondary schools? What is the, how are you going to do the selection? When is the event even starting?
Okay, the program is scheduled to take place on the 28th and 29th of this month. So on this time, we will be going to a public school. We'll be going to a public school by local government, a girls' public school. So on 27th, some we've already shared ourselves. Some people will go to this school, some people will go to, so just to cover the 21 schools across the local government.
You have something to add?
Okay, some of the schools we are going to are not just public schools.
Okay.
We are actually going to both urban and rural areas. And for some schools, it's going to be the local government headquarters, a school in the local government headquarters. For some schools, it's going to be in towns, other towns that are not in the local government headquarters. So we are actually going to not just public schools too, we are also going to some mission schools. The most important thing we are looking out for is where are we going to make more impact? Where do we have a concentration of young girls? So we are not actually going to mixed schools, we are going to only girls' schools.
Maybe I'll make a request that you include mixed schools, because most times in some of these mixed schools is where maybe a girl is having some during her menses and there is a wetness somewhere in her clothes and boys start making in class. So I think you should consider mixed schools also.
Yeah, sometimes when you educate
even
the
talk
boy
to
child,
boys,
they talk to their sisters. You should.
Yeah, we actually have a second phase coming up in September.
Yeah, you can
So
make it a
hopefully
mix.
we'll cover the mixed schools during
Let me
the
say the
second
truth.
phase.
This is our program. we're on a TV show. I think men or boys also need to be taught about some of these things, because at times you begin to see those things, maybe in your sister, and you are imagining what's happening.
Yeah, David, I won't lie. There was a time.
For me, I had just one sister, and when she started experiencing her own, she is part of those people that have a very runny stomach. She was having issues with her stomach, cramps, yes, whenever it happens. And for me, I wouldn't want to go and ask her. She was my elder. I had to start looking for information to understand what was happening.
It's true. Like when you ask your brother, say, please buy me pads. Say, what do you people even use this for? But I think there is need for us to educate. Most times when people talk about girl-child education, they exclude the boy child.
Yeah.
I think it's quite unfair. When you were talking about in associations, you think that girl child and topic that has to do with women and girl child is not really covered. I'm a lady, but I feel like the topic that has to do with women are overflogged. And I feel that most times men are too busy, they don't really have time to even talk about things that have to do with them. there is need for us to talk about the attitude of some men towards some issues that have to do with women. So I would also suggest that if it's possible, in the future, if you can inculcate maybe like the female leaders of different associations that are mixed gender association, that way you can pass messages across. I remember once we went on an excursion to a museum, and I got to the museum. I was in my period. I was throwing up anyhow, and the boys in my class said she's pregnant. I'm telling you, I was so, because anytime if I pass in school, then they'll be like, she don't carry. It's quite funny, because the next month I still came and threw up.
Pregnant every month.
Yes, but you know, it was at a point somebody now said, why is it that small thing you run to the back? Then other ladies now started speaking of people that throw up too during their time.
You know where that mentality?
It's Nollywood, my dear. So what I'm trying to say is, it's a female association, but I would appreciate if you don't exclude male education.
Entirely.
It's very important. Don't make it a female thing, because if, for instance, I've seen, in fact, in my house then, my elder sister would say, there is no money, there is no gas, you cannot bathe hot water. I say, oh, leave her only, she's the only one that will bathe hot water, based on like she's in her period. And my brothers will say, why, until you tell us why she's bathing hot water. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're educating only the female, it is the male that will make it more, how do I put it, bearable for them. I've seen a boy that usually rubs the sister's back. The mom will be saying, rub her back, rub her back. You get? The boy will be rubbing his sister's back. Not a young boy, like, not small boy per se. I'm telling you, secondary school ages. Should be rubbing his sister's back, and it reduces her cramp. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes it's good that we talk about female days, girl child days, woman days. Let us not
need to also
exclude
involve the boys.
the boys.
There are some things
And David too, there's also how to point.
Yeah.
There are also some things female do to men that are not bearable at all. You need to talk about it too. Yes, it's true.
maybe I'm not.
Yes. So, this is the opportunity I have to pass a message. In as much as you're looking out for the girl child, please look out for the heart of the male child too.
Okay.
There are some things your members do that is not good. You get it is not fair.
Like what? That points to some of the things that
If you don't do this, don't make it look like I'm not serious. Please don't make it look like I'm not serious. There are some things about male that female need to know about.
Yeah.
Sometimes the male folk will use misinformation or wrong information to lure girls into something else.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear stories of a girl telling you that, oh, he said if he doesn't do this, it will give him stomach ache. So I had to allow him. These are things you need to talk about. And then you also see female that a young guy, student like you, will say, come, let me take you out. She'll come with all her generation. And at the end of the day, no, calm down. At the end of the day, the guy will have to borrow money and then spend on you. At the end of the day, wait for you in another corner. These are some of the things you need to. So in as much as it's a gender-based education, it has to touch across both sides.
All right. Wait, you want to that's why it's weekend show. Here we talk and we ask questions and we talk. That's why it's weekend show. If it's an interview segment, I have bombarded questions. All right. Thank you very much, Oyinyechi, the National President, National Association of Anambra Students,
Female
students, and also Anastasia. Yes, the Secretary General of the Association. But before we go, anybody that wants to partner, maybe sponsor your program, what can the person do? Like someone is watching us now and feels like this is a project I want to invest in. This is a project I want to. You talked about financing for your program, and maybe he has 100,000 to give you as transport or something, or even to bring parts. How can the person be part of the project?
Okay, it's just by reaching out to us.
Okay.
How
can the
Okay, we have an email, anambrafemalestudents@gmail.com.
fully written?
Yes, anambrafemalestudents@gmail.com.
Okay.
So you can reach out to us through email You can also call us on our phones.
Okay, your phone line, just call them. Maybe.
You sure they want to drop it here?
Huh?
You want to drop your number here?
The thing is, I don't
Oh,
know
you don't have an association number yet?
Oh, okay, we actually did have, but something happened.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So the email.
let's work with the Gmail for security purposes.
You have social media.
Yes, we are
Please
also
drop
on
this.
Facebook.
Okay.
For now, we are just on Facebook.
Okay.
Our Instagram page is still coming up, so
So drop
we do
your
more on
Facebook. Somebody can inbox you.
Okay. On Facebook is National Association of Anambra Female Students -NAFS.
Okay.
Okay. Written fully,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay.
written full.
With hyphen naps.
Yes.
So quick sharp, maybe one sentences or two. What's your final words to any Anambra female students watching right now?
Okay, I would say to an Anambra female student, you shouldn't feel bad about, an Anambra girl child should not feel bad about menstruation. It's a normal thing. It's okay to menstruate because it forms part of our
That's
reproductive
like 7
health.
words. 1 sentence right here.
All right. I'm going to be talking in general, not just about the
Oh, that's
menstruation and
beautiful.
all. I just want to tell my fellow, females from Anambra State, reach for excellence, dare to achieve. But whatever you are going to achieve, just know that it's a process and you have to start from somewhere.
A full paragraph. You did. All right, thank you so much for coming on Weekend Show. It's been quite an interesting conversation, and for me, I picked a lot. And not just that I picked a lot, I had an opportunity to actually share what I've always wanted to share. So I really appreciate you for that. From David too, you learned a lot. Don't lie, you learned a lot.
All right. Stay with us. The Weekend Show continues right after now on ABS Television. Darling. Seriously.